I was on my morning dog walk this morning, listening to The Creative Act, A Way of Being, which is a book by Rick Ruben. And I always find walking and being with my dogs a good place to contemplate, to talk to myself sometimes, and or just have a moment to listen to something. And that's what I was doing this morning. And there was a couple of sentences that Rick mentioned. Well, actually, I have to be honest, most of what he talks about I love, and I'm going to repeat this book time and time again because I really appreciate his wisdom. I really want to absorb the knowledge and experience and guidance that he brings. So I do recommend this to people. But a couple of sentences he mentioned this morning made me want to talk about my own experiences with this. And it's about creativity, but it's linked to my own creativity, my own art form, I suppose, which is and has been rowing, and the movement of rowing and execution of the rowing stroke and the things associated with that, which is fitness and health. And so I feel quite confident in saying that that is my expression. Rowing is my creativity, it is my art form, it is my way of expressing into the world at the moment. And it's quite releasing being able to say that. I've often said that rowing for me was an art, but I sometimes got sort of laughed off the pitch for that. It's not, it's a sport. Rowing's a sport. It's about performance, it's about numbers, it's about winning races, it's about pursuit of excellence. And yeah, okay, rowing as a sport is part of it. It's one part of it, but that's not what I believe. That's not the sum total of rowing for me. Rowing is far greater, deeper, more complex than that. And so I'm very happy to say that rowing is my art. It is my expression. It is my form of creativity. And interestingly, this morning I listened to some words that Rick mentioned in this book about rules and the fact that rules are often restricting to someone who is trying to create something, to artists in whatever field. I'm not just talking about rowing here, I'm talking about music, art, anything you can think of. In fact, anything you do. Sometimes rules are restrictive. Not always. Things like physics, there are hard and fast rules, right? And we need those rules. But in the world of creativity, I don't believe there are rules. And this has led me down this path of thinking. Something I experience quite often online is people with rules, hard and fast rules. And actually online, that often comes across as people talking aggressively, often quite rude. You shouldn't be doing this, you shouldn't be doing that, it should be like this is how you do it. Now, I don't have a problem with people saying that to me, that's fine, that is their opinion. But I do have a problem with the restriction those rules bring on my own and other people's art form, other people's creativity. And rowing, movement, even performance, even rowing as a sport to me is creating something. And so I do fight a little bit against that. And I want to say this because I want people, if they want to, if they think like I do, if this makes sense to anyone, I want you to feel free to be able to do, to move, to create in the way that works for you, not just in ways that are restricted by other people's beliefs. It's the way that I want to coach. That's the way that I guide my rowing sessions that I do, or my coaching programs. I can make suggestions, which brings me on to my next point, can make suggestions, but there are never rules. The rules are that you have to explore. You have to try things. You have to find what works for you. I can share what worked for me, but that's just a stepping stone. That's just a foundation for you. From there, you go on and explore. Imagine if I set a training session or a workout, whatever you want to call it, and you go too hard in that session and you can't finish the workout. Well, you come back to me and say, that was awful, I couldn't do it, I feel terrible, I feel like a failure, that was a disaster, I'm further back than I was before. And my feeling on that, whether I say it or not, whether you care or not, it doesn't matter, would be that no, that was exactly what you should be doing. Because next time you do that same workout, then you're going to know that this is too hard, so you're just going to pull back a little bit. You're going to explore, you're going to find your own way of doing it. Whereas if I'd set a rule, you have to do it like this, you must hit these targets, you have to do it like this, then you have no idea whether you could have gone harder, you could have got a better time, or you went too light. You didn't explore the boundaries, the envelope of what you're capable of. You didn't express yourself fully. So we need to explore. And I think that comes through your own trial and error, your own exploration, your own expression, your own creativity. That's just one example of rowing. I think this can be applied to most things we do. The other thing is, I do believe in principles. And there are principles to everything we do. And as I was walking this morning, I was starting to think about those principles. What are the principles to what I do? My art, rowing. Well, when I think about it, actually, what were we doing in the cruise that I was in the warm-up of the Olympic final? So we'd got to a level, a fairly high level in the sport of rowing, in the activity, in the art of rowing. We got to a high level. We were preparing for the biggest moment of our life and what we were doing. We were trying to simplify. We were trying to create, or we had created, the most simple race plan we possibly could. We were working on things that I had been working on 20 years ago when I started rowing. We were talking about things that we have done throughout all our careers, 16 years, 20 years, however long each of us had been rowing. We were talking about simply connecting to the water, pushing the legs first. Super simple principles, the principles that allow you to create your art form, that allow you to do, to create, to be the artist in that moment. So the principles allow you to express yourself. And that's what, when people get to higher levels in whatever it is they do, we come back round to. So, guidelines, principles are in place. They need to be in place, but that's fine. Everything else is up to you. You create, you explore, you try, you test, you fail, you achieve. Whatever it is, it's an expression of yourself. And for me, thinking about this and listening to this morning and putting these words out there, and I don't know if any of this makes sense, but it was kind of releasing. It was almost a relief in a way. I understand myself a fraction more. Although these things had been bubbling behind me, I'd been believing these things in my heart or feeling these things, I hadn't been able to express them. And I'm going to work on expressing them even better as we move forward. But I did want to share that for people today. You don't have to do anything in a certain way. Life is about creation. That's where we get satisfaction from. That is where we feel great about ourselves. Whether you're creating for a performance in a sport, whether you're creating a meal for your family, or whatever it is, it's an expression. There are no right or wrongs. Principles remain, but principles are usually very simple. From there, you step forth and you create, you be yourself. And I hope that some of the haters out there, some of the restrictors, just don't bother you so much. I hope that, like water off a duck's back, you can just accept that, listen to that, let it go, and do your thing. Create. Be your own artist. That's what I want to share today. All right. All for now. Bye.